Hello and welcome back to Marineford TCG. My name is Joe. Drink of the day is Monster the Doctor. And today I've been playing some games with LIM, with the new EB03 LIM, and also the new OP14 Perona. So I'm going to kind of tie two videos together. OP14 LIM and EB03 LIM, because there's going to be a lot of decks in EB03 that I really want to test. So we can kind of do a little twofer with the LIM. This list is heavily based off a list that Dissent75 used to get second place in the Chinoise Cup, went 5-1, really good record. And I've just put in this LIM from the new EB03 set. First of all, if you want to play an OP14, cut this LIM, add in this ace. Simple 1-for-1. I'd probably go to 4 Namis, because the Nami is quite nice. But, yeah, it's a simple 2k for 2k swap. As for this LIM is incredible on certain turns, right? On 7, if you are going second, because you're going to ramp. Going from 4 to 5, and then you draw to 7. This LIM is just incredible. It buffs your leader up to 6, which makes it harder for decks to try and aggro you down if you're playing into an aggro deck. Buffs all your characters, so whatever you played on your first turn, say it was Dofi for example, he's now swinging at 7, which is brilliant into 5k leaders. If you have a Mihawk, you can go, okay, LIM, and then I'll swing with Dofi, swing for 7, play the Mihawk, swing for 7 again. That's some crazy aggression on your, effectively, what would be your 6th on turn. It's also a 2k, because why not? The one downside of this card is you cannot search it off LIM, and it's quite bad when you're on the going first curve. Like, you can play it if you've got exactly this in hand as well. You can go this for 3 and then leader effect play this for 3 on 6. But even if you don't drop this on curve, dropping this later is also just really good. If you buff like leader plus 2 characters, then you're getting 3,000 powers worth of stuff, developing a 4/5, and then the fact that those buffs last through your opponent's turn makes your board easier to defend and your life easier to defend. It just buys you a bunch of 1ks, which is crazy. The other new addition from OP14 is Perona. This is really nice in certain spots, right? It's hard to drop this on curve again, but in the later game, this can either just turn off 2 blockers, which is great in its own right, or you can stun like into an aggro deck, like a Moria, I don't know, like a Boa deck. You can stun a Ran and a Boa. You can stun 2 little Thriller Bark guys. Into Nami, you can stun the 5-cost Nami and maybe like a Marco blocker. I don't know. It's a really solid card. And we don't care that it comes in rested, because if your opponent kills it, you just get to play something else. And we have a good selection of 5-cost green characters. Would you believe? In terms of top end, I am just opting for Shanks. I think it's generically the best one because there's a lot of removal for big stuff at the minute. Red Rock is kind of everywhere. Sanji's running Red Rock. Ace is running Red Rock. Nami's running Red Rock. This is the EB03 format I'm talking about. But it's also relevant for OP14. A lot of Red Rocks, a lot of removal. So I think 9-cost Sorrow is a little vulnerable right now. Shanks, even if he does get Red Rocked, like that's fine because you still got to use those 10 done for leader effect and a bunch of swings. Or even just a bunch of swings. So I'll absolutely take the Shanks, even if it gets Red Rocked, not the end of the world. And if it survives, what a treat. In terms of this weird event split, you're definitely going to be on some copies of DMG. I think 2's fine. I'd maybe like 3 though. 3 might be nice just to guarantee you have it. You don't need it in every game. But there are a good amount of games where you need it. And now that I'm not playing Ace, that's one less way to interact with the opponent's blockers that we don't have anymore. Beam Sword, I'm really enjoying that. That's a great card. This has caught so many people off guard. Either they're just not used to seeing it in LIM, or, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of different events you can run in this deck that they've got to play around, because you can run Hell's Judgment as well. I can pull that up. Yeah, Hell's Judgment. You can run this as well, and then this is just massive swaths of counter. So your opponent's got to play around that. They've got to play around, like, just the 3k classics. They've got to play around Beam Sword. And I'm also trying out the Soul Frankie Swing Arm Boxing Solid. Shit name. Absolutely shit name. An awful art. Look at this crap. But decent card. It's like Paradise Waterfall Plus. It's searchable off your LIM, which is cool. And then you can resound a couple of guys. It's alright. I haven't found this coming up too much. But when it is good, it's very good. Not sure if I would play this again. Like I said, I would kind of like another DMG. A copy or 2 of Hell's Judgment could be reasonable as well. Or you could even just play a little bit more consistency, some more 1Ks. But yeah, solid card. I'm opting for the Nami over the Ace because on certain turns this just wins the game. Denying your opponent from playing their key play on a key turn is just insanely good. Into Mihawk, for example, if you can stun their Don as they go into 10, they can't lure Beppo. And when they can't go to 7, they're suddenly a lot more vulnerable. They can drop the Mihawk, sure, and that's pretty good, but it's no lure on Beppo. So there's all sorts of other decks where this comes up. Going into an ace, when they're going into 8, you can stun the Don, so they can't play the Whitebeard. Incredible. There's all sorts of places that this is really good, depending on what you're playing into. So that's why I am playing this as my second Odyssey 2K. And we've got Kiku because you need a 1-drop early in this deck. To activate your effects like a Nell, to restand your Dofi. For everything you really want to see a 1-drop, and Kiku being able to restand herself is great. I think the one other change you could maybe make, other than we've talked about the top end, and we've talked about the events and the 2Ks, is this Sanji. Some people will prefer this Chopper. They basically do the same thing. Chopper has a 1k counter, Sanji has 1000 more power. What do you prefer? If you actually see the card on curve, Sanji is miles better than Chopper, but Chopper is also a 1k, so if you see him later, he is miles better than Sanji. You decide what's better. I'm personally going for the Sanji because I like gambling a little bit. And the amount of bricks in this deck isn't extreme, right? You've got 3 Shanks, 4 Lim, 3 Sanjis, 10, plus your events if you want to count those. So it's not an extreme amount of bricks. But if you do want to be a little bit more consistent overall, you could in fact go with the Chopper. He's also pretty good. Into the EB03 meta, I think Lim's going to be pretty solid. I don't know about if I'd say she'll be top tier. More testing needed for sure, but this 4-drop Lim is a massive boon to the deck. Again, shame you can't search it, but when you draw it off your Sabo, off your Enel, just naturally, it gives you so much more aggression and defense all in one 2k, which is just, it's very, very good. I'm a big fan of this Lim card. And in OP14 into the new decks, I think Mihawk, coin matters a lot, dice, whatever. Whoever goes first, I think he's quite favoured. You can still win going second, but you kind of rely on them whiffing some things. If they're all able to go perona into like Shanks, and then start dropping Lord Beppos, it's really tough for you to get there. The perona is brutal because it stuns everything in our deck except for this Shanks. That is tough to deal with. But it is unsearchable, so Mihawk can easily whiff it. And if they just Tashigi, it's considerably worse. And they also get to their Beppo turn one turn later, when they're on odds. So it's not like the end of the world. Boa, I've actually been finding pretty good. I haven't got any games into the OP14 leaders in this video because I've been playing Eastern Ranked, I'm afraid. But Boa I have been finding quite favoured, which is able to move very, very fast. You'll often want to starve them on the very first turn. But if you get to go first and you drop like a Sabo, or you drop Lim into Sabo into 2 things on 6, even if they get triggers, you're so far ahead because you develop so many guys, and they don't always have the counter to counter out. They really do rely on getting to their end game. So if you're able to just punch them enough early on, that's great. The Perona's solid in that matchup. Doesn't stun Shaki and Gorgons, annoyingly, but it can stun Ran, it can stun the blocker Boa, stop that from blocking as well, which is pretty cool. And if they don't get Gorgons, this Lim pushing all your shit up by 1000 can be incredible. I've not played into any Crocs or Dofi, so I don't really have an opinion on those. I would imagine you're pretty decent into Dofi if you can go fast enough, but the 10-cost Dofi stunning 3 of your guys is probably pretty rough, so I could see it getting tough towards the end of the game, but early game, as long as you draw your curve, you should have a lot of aggression, which can really help in the Dofi matchup. They don't have a lot of counter. They really rely on people not going wide, and we go very wide, assuming you can protect your board, which is pretty cool. Either way, that's more than enough yapping. Here are a few games in EB03 ranked format with Lim. Good evening to Nami. We're unfortunately going second. Don't think that hand's going to cut it. Okay, it sounds better. But I do think this matchup's pretty difficult because the amount of removal they have. The Nojikos, if they're playing Jozu, that's always really good. He's playing the unblockable, that's good to know. Only 6. I'm tempted to counter this. Yeah, I think I'll counter this because we're probably taking like a 5 and a 7 next turn. Sorry, a burn and a 7 from the 5-cost Nami. Hiyori. We don't need one for this. Just swing 5. There's no point swinging 6. He can just one card anyway if he wants to. Yeah. Game 1, we'll play out Sabo. End the turn, restand Sabo. See if he has his 5-cost Nami. That 5-cost Nami forcing us down to 2 is really, really rough. It's such a powerful early game for him. There's not a lot we can do about it. Oh, he doesn't have it, though. 6-cost Rayleigh is also pretty rough. Yeah, it's not a card I'm excited to see. We're taking that one. No choice. Yeah. Are they really playing this? I mean, I guess they can, right? And he just plays it next turn, removes one of our guys. So we've got to play 2 guys this turn. For sure. We've got to play Lim into probably the Mihawk. It's the only target, right? And if we want to draw, we have to draw with the first swing. It's going to be 3 for that, 3 for Mihawk. Yeah, we can swing 5, 7, 7. It's not too bad. Let's go 5. Okay, tosses the Rayleigh. Maybe he has 2. Or maybe he doesn't think it's very good. Let's not do that. Well, I don't want to Lim, so I guess I'll take a Sabo 1k. Then we'll swing 7 with Sabo. Do another Sabo. Do you want to play another Sabo? It's not the worst. Not the worst. Then we can Mihawk next turn, maybe? Could go in Perona plus Mihawk. It's not too bad. Might guarantee myself the extra draw there. I'm just restand one of them. He's going to blow up one of them potentially with Rayleigh if he really wants to anyway, so there's not a lot we can do about it. We'll definitely 1k that with the Sabo. We don't need more of these guys. Yep, did have 2 Rayleighs, okay. Epic. Yeah, this card's a bit of a bitch. Honestly, I'm just going to 1k this. If he wants to attack it, that's fine. Yeah, you're not having that. We'll give it the Kiku. Ooh, that's interesting, but I think the Perona is better. Oh no, the Perona doesn't hit the Rayleigh though, does it? Maybe the Shanks is better. Maybe the Shanks is better. We don't necessarily have to attack this, because he's going to use leader effect, right? I think we go 7 from Lim. There's a kid in the pudding. Can go 7 with leader. And then 9 twice with Sabo. That's pretty strong. Let's attack this here. So if he defends, that's cool. We get a card. And if he doesn't defend, then he loses the young girl. Okay, he's going to lose the young girl then. I think it is still better to go 7. And just leave the girl here. Because we still have 2k, 1k, which isn't the worst. This is going to restand. This can restand this. So these are not vulnerable. This is just too big. How many 2ks has he given us? 1, 2. He did give us a 2k for a 0-on-0 though. So he clearly has no 1ks. Let's go 7. I'm going 9, draw 1. Game 1. Mihawk, restand this. 9. We got 2k, 1k. No, we've got him to 0, and he can't heal now because Robin mandates that you trash a card. Drawing the 2k as well, which is great. We'll do this first, and then restand Sabo. He has to block her up or red rock the Shanks, which is going to cost him all of his dons. He can't attack the Sabo, can't attack the Lim. If he plays like blockers like Marco, then the Perona is pretty good. His best play is probably something like Red Rock the Shanks, play Nojako to bounce something. There's the Red Rock on the Shanks. There's the Nojiko. I called it, I guess. I don't like that I called it. 0 to 0. Let me work this out. You can do 6, 6, 7. We can cancel all of those and then just go all in, right? It doesn't really matter if we defend this at this point. So let's just let that go. And we just defend this Mihawk with everything we've got. Yeah, we don't need the Sabo. We don't need the Nami. Leader? Sure. Why not? Could have given us a Mihawk there. I guess he did draw a card there. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, huh? Yeah, I shouldn't have took that. That was a mistake. Regardless, 16 lead. Yeah, it's GG. If he did draw like a not a rad beam, I guess an L4 or something, he could have survived just about. With 5 cards, they'd have had to be 1 brick, 1 L4, and 3 2Ks. But yeah, I shouldn't have took that life there. Just shouldn't have given them the extra draw. That was a slight mistake. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take the win. I didn't expect to beat this matchup that easily. Especially not the Rayleigh. The Rayleigh was pretty strong. And he yoinked first. But I'll take it, I guess. We're going to Ace. We are going first. What a treat. We have 1 drop. Don't have a great 3 don. And that's okay, but we have to attack with the Lim, which is kind of awkward. This is solid, though. This Nami is good. This Nami is really good for stopping him playing Whitebeard. And we have the slow beam. We'll draw something, I believe. Attacking with Lim and then, like, playing a Nell is not the worst thing in the world. As well. He does find a 1 cost, though, which is a little annoying. If we get like a Doffy off the top, I'll play that instead, I think. Yamato, good card. Very good card. Don on lead. Yeah, Mihawk is worse than an L. We'll just... He's going to want to play a 4 drop. If he doesn't and swings 10 into an L, I'm going to be really upset. See, we'll just do this and we'll have to restand the Enel with the limbs effect, which is not... It's not what I want, but it is what it is. Game 1, play Enel. Oh, we might end up playing another one of these. I definitely want this. That's really, really good. I kind of got all these cards, you know. I don't think this Perona is going to be too impactful. And we're going to end up on 9 in a couple turns here. So we could go something like Nami plus Lim plus Doffy, something like that. I don't know if we need this Limbs per se. All these cards are really, really good. All these cards are really, really good. And we want the slow beam sword for later. Let's just do this. Restand in Nell. I can't have him swinging 10 into it. We just lose. Yeah, he gets to do that, but I can't have him swinging 10 into the end. It's just Jova. Yep, that's fine. Oh, do we want to ramp? If we ramp, we go to 5. We get to swing with leader. That's kind of nice. Yeah, sure, I'll ramp. Why not? That's a decent little trigger there, I think. It gives us just that extra don, which is cool. Cav, okay. Perona's looking better, especially for Yamato's, right? I think we're going to limb Doffy here. We're definitely going to limb. Let's start with 6 from this. I would kind of like to deal the damage, but I also really want to leave this Mihawk, so I think whether or not we play this Mihawk is going to depend on whether the limb finds another one. Gives us the Yamato. Cool. Red Rock Trigger can hit this, which is something that I don't want. Let's go 6 lead. Uses the event, okay. Okay, we got another Mihawk. That's really, really good. Let's just take the Mihawk. We'll play another Mihawk. Game 1. Play a Mihawk. Restand an L. Swing again for 6. If he does Yamato next turn, We could Perona to stun both, which would be pretty cool. We could like Perona plus Nami. That could be kind of funky. Anyway, Lim stands up. That Don ramp's really sort of throw. I'm not used to the curve being, you know, being on ahead. Shockingly. Oh, he swings lead. Swings leader. I'll take this for sure. See what he trashes with Cav. Marco. Oh, that's going to be useful later. 6. It's awkward because I want this Nami, right? I actively want to play this Nami. This says Jozu. This absolutely says Jozu. So the Perona is now useless. Maybe we give up the... Take again, honestly. That's potentially nice. Yeah, this 100% says Jozu, right? He's going to pick up the Garp and bounce. It doesn't really matter. Probably the NL. And yeah, in fact, you definitely don't give me the Mihawk back, so it'll be the NL. But you're not going to have a Don on his leader. Pick up the Garp, bounce the NL. Good stuff, good stuff. That's another option. Could do that for 3. Nami for 2. 1 on leader, 1 on limb. 6, 6, 6. That'd be 7. No, this buffs all of them by 1 anyway. If we did 4 for limb, 3 for Sanji. Four for limb. 3 for a Nell with leader effect. 2 for Nami. You could hold 1 for a DMG. I really like the idea of this. It gives us a lot of defense. I also would kind of like to leave 2 up for DMG. But it doesn't work if we want to play Nami. Maybe with Mihawk or Doffy? Maybe with Doffy. I think a Doffy here for 3. Lim for 4. We get a 7k blocker, which is pretty nice. These will be at 6. This will be at 7. We can go 6, 6, 8. Clear the Cav. Probably deal the damage. That seems reasonable. And keep... We don't need the slow beam. Oh, I'm getting lost in the sauce, man. Getting lost in the sauce. Well, game 1, I'm going to play out the Doffy. And we'll go Lim. How much counter have we got? Oh, no, we want to play this as well, don't we? Just done the Don, yeah. So we're not going to have that much counter. We definitely just keep the last 1 for the DMG, I think. Go 6 to Cav. Just in case he goes for like a rogue split. We do have the blocker, though. Maybe I don't need the 1 for the DMG. Maybe I don't need it. I don't think we do. We have 3 1Ks. I do really want to clear this Cavern because he's not used leader effect. Which makes it much more guaranteed. Okay, he saves it though. Wow. That is crazy. Do we not Nami now? He's throwing away 2 Whitebeard events. There's no way, right? There's no way you have like one of them and then draw into it off the leader effect or the top deck. Sorry, off the Cav. The top deck or the Cav. You'd have 4 cards to find a 2-card combo. I think we leave 2 open for Norin or a Beam. Because if on the off chance he does get it, we can do that. He doesn't get it, okay. Just an EZO. Whiffs? Holy Batman, that is really bad. That's really unfortunate. Now, if we can defend our entire board, we can potentially go for game. We have DMG as well if he plays like a Marco. Which is strong. This is a slow beam sword angle here. Rest the Jozu. It's got to be right. That's just too clean. No blocker. Start returning Dom. Rest the Jozu. Buff the leader, rest the Jozu. Resolve. That's an instant. If this is Marco, this is just 8, so we can, like, Doffy block 2k. I think we're going for lethal next turn. He could Jozu, I suppose, but... I don't know, trash the Yamato, which is interesting, because that is a solid play. So he at least has another play for this turn that is supposedly better than Yamato, which I find somewhat hard to believe, but maybe it's a Marco? I don't know. I don't know. See what he goes for. Come on, my friend. If it is a Jozu, we can just block the leader swing. He doesn't have a Don as leader, which is quite nice. It is not that. We'll block 1k, just save the 2k. Just give up the now. Don't need him. That's worse than Marco, considerably so. If we DMG, does it actually do anything? This doesn't do anything. Would we ever play board? To remove both of them pretty easily. Could. If we DMG for 4, right? We rest the Uta. Go like 6, 6, 6 with the limbs. We'd need all the other 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6s. Which he has. Can counter 1, takes the second one, draws 2, so he'd have 2 cards in hand. 3, 4 by the end. He can just about, if he gets no bricks. I'm going to go 6 and see what happens. Okay, now he's got the 3 cards. Sure. So has he taken the first one? If we DMG now for 4, we need 3 for that. If we want to swing with this, it's hard, right? We don't get to swing with these, or if we want to swing twice for 8 with this. The DMG is really expensive, honestly. The DMG is expensive. Is there another route? So 1k. If we can remove this, we can live. That is an option. We could also just stun this with Perona for 5. With a split, 3-way split, but we have the DMG to potentially defend if we need, and a blocker. I think he can take this one. Oh, it's really weird. It's a really weird endgame. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. 2, 3, 4, okay. I think we just Perona, actually. Okay, he does counter that. Yeah, I think we Perona for 5. Stun this. I guess stun Ezo. He only has 3 swings, and we can counter 1 block one at the very worst. If we kill this, though, we don't need to Perona, right? Which is nice. If he lets this go. We have no cards now. What if we Mihawk now? If we Mihawk for 3, put 3 on this, we can swing 8 into Cav, 8 into Jozu, clear both. That's really good. It's 9 in fact, isn't it? Not that we need to swing for 9, we only need to swing for 7. 7 to Jozu, 7 to Cav. He can block one of them. But yeah, we remove one of them regardless, and this restands. We have the Dom for the DMG. I think we're okay on that. If we go 5, stun this with Perona. Doesn't really change anything. We can keep the Mihawk for next turn that way. I guess that's slightly better, right? Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's slightly better. Can block with Uta. Or he can let it go. Blocks with Uta, sure. Then we'll go 5 Perona. Stun this, stun this. End of turn. The boys stand up. He has 1 card and no way to draw any others. See what he top decked, huh? With the DMG for next turn. We've got a little bit of counter. If we need to use the DMG for counter, we can. It can't really defend board, though. But we've got 3k that I'm very happy to defend board with. 1k that I'm not very happy to defend board with. That was a really weird turn. That turn. That was a very, very weird turn. And if he does take out this Perona, if he attacks this Perona, that's just a complete blunder. But he won't. He won't. There's a Mihawk there and a Limb here for him to attack, so... That, I think, will be the, they'll be the main targets. It's just the luck of the top deck, right? He's got 1 card. Who knows what it could be? He can't go for lethal. I mean, he can if it's a Joe. Okay, it is a Jozu. Does he go for lethal? Or does he go for board? Goes for lethal. So this is 10. We can go to 8. 10, 11 easily. So we just take this. And we know the 1 card in his hand is an Ezo. 10, yeah, sure. Go to 8. Go to 10. Go to 11. Now we just swing a bunch of 6s. 6 from Perona. 6 from Lim. 6 from Lim. 6 from Lim. 10 from Mihawk, and we got there. GG, so I played to our opponent. That was a close one. Let me know if you think there was anything better I could have done that last turn. So that last turn we got really weird with... Yeah, with him having a low hand size, it's not something you normally have with Ace. And with us having quite a few different options there, with like the Perona option, the DMG just go for it option. I'm not 100% sure what the best thing to do was there. He top decked a Jozu, which is a pretty bad draw, to be fair. It's not really, I think, what he would have been looking for. Did decide to go for lethal. Just punt, which is fine. I think he'd have been still better off going board, to be honest. He could have removed at least 1 guy. And then, I think we still have lethal, but it would have made our lethal a little bit harder, right? Would have made it a little bit harder. Either way, well played to our opponent. Let's move on. We're going to Sanji. We're going second, and the removal this deck has access to, I think, is just too good for us. But we'll see. 5 cost Perona should be pretty good here. That hand is not good enough. We need a 1-drop. We've got our 1-drop. Okay, this is cookable. We've got our Perona as well. I'm liking it. I'm liking it quite a lot. He grabs the Searcher event. We kind of want him to whiff a 3-cost Sanji on 3. How feasible is that? I don't know. A man can dream. A man can dream. No 3-cost Sanji on 3. Well, he doesn't have it yet, which is nice. You can stealth black into it, of course, but just not having it yet is nice. We have an ideal play, because I don't really want to swing with this and then play the NL. Because then this is vulnerable. But we'll see. Teardrops of a Lady finds a 3-drop Sanji. Milling 2 Otamas, sure. Birth Burst, draw 2, pretty good. Then we'll see a swing, I guess. Swing of 5, yep. Ramp 1 Don. I'll take that. That's worse. That's also bad. So we're on 7 next turn. I'm going to forgo the draw. Kind of. Maybe we can drop another limb, I suppose. Do I want to drop another limb? This is solid next time. We can go limb into like Mihawk and swing twice. And if it's the NL, that is really solid for us. That is really solid. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. We'll go with it. Lim, attack. I choose you. Now, do I want to drop another one? We would get to keep a Lim on board, which seems good. Yeah, I probably will drop another Lim. Probably will. So we'll go 5. He's going to counter. Game 1, we'll play a Nell. I guess if I was going to drop the Lim, I didn't need to attack with this one, right? But it's fine. I don't even need the Sanji. And yeah, I guess if I was going to play this, I didn't need to attack with this. Because this would have been the first rested character for a Nell to be the second. It's fine. I don't think I want this. And then we'll drop another Lim. End of turn. Lim, restand. And Nell, restand Lim. If he wants to attack the Lim, that's fine. Sanji, does he have a stealth black? Does have a stealth black, gets the blocker down. That's really good for him. His stealth black and the teardrops of a lady are both game changers for this deck. 100%. Deploy Otama. Does he take out the Lim? He does not go for the Lim. I think I'm going to take once more. They're not usually playing Pudding. It's not a card I'm considering right now. So yeah, we want to go 4-drop Lim into 5-cost Mihawk this turn, I think. And then next turn we'll probably go with a Perona once he has 2 Sanjis down. This doesn't buff Mihawk, but there's no way for us to both get the buff on a Nell and buff the Mihawk. It's not possible. We'll go with Lim. We'll swing 6 from leader. I guess these are at 1. What a treat. Takes the 6. Don't you dare get a Raging Tiger trigger, bro. If you get a oh, fuck off, man. So rude. Red Rock trigger just as rough, man. I hate it here. He has to giant on 5. That's a questionable choice. And okay, he tosses the Raging Tiger, so he definitely has Reiju in hand. Definitely has it. It's pretty bad, man. Well, maybe he has to block or take here. Maybe at least get a little bit of pressure off. But I'm not liking it. I'm not liking the look of that toss on a Raging Tiger. Ah, there it is. The funny card. This deck is miserable to play into now. It's really miserable to play into. It's just removal. You really remove everything. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know? I guess we 2k this. We can at least Shanks. Do we ever attack with these? That's a bleak thought. You can just Red Rock this. It's yet another problem, right? Going on rested, play out a Lim. Do a search. I can't take Lim. We'll take Mihawk for sure. I think we do swing. We can swing, what, 6-6 with the Lim and the Lim? Or swing really big with the leader. There's not much point swinging really big with the leader. Swing here? Ever swing here? I don't think so. I think we just swing to the smaller character. Well, it takes that. It's got to give us at least a 1k here. Oh, get rid of it. What a treat. We'll do that. Fuck off. Get out of here. Another Reiju, Red Rock, Gum Red Rock, fun. Ah. We might have to go for it here with DMG plus Draco. Yeah, we may have to go for it here. It's possible. It is possible. What if we... I think I'll counter this one. Birth Burst's not one I'm pleased to see, because that's going to draw him into more counter. He has milled a decent amount of 2Ks, though. 3 Otamas, 1 Sanji gone. This is a snap take. There's no need to trigger that. Doesn't attack with leader. Now we can DMG for 4. And we get to swing 8, 8, 5. He'd have to be able to counter a 5 and an 8. If we go with Perona, can stun these two. We can still play the Mihawk. Swing like 5, 5, 5. Keep 2 open for Nora Beam. That might be the angle. Let's go 5, see what happens. Gives up a Reiju. Means he either has another one. Do we reckon he has 4k counter in this hand? And a life? I reckon he does. I reckon he does. I reckon the DMG is greedy. I do. If we stun these... He's only on 7 Don. How many Dons will we need to keep up to go for a game? Is 1 enough with just the DMG? His split would be, what, 10, 17, 8, 9? So yeah, with the DMG and the 1k... No, we don't actually have any 1k, so we kind of have to leave 2 Don open. Yeah, a little unfortunate. Yeah, a little unfortunate there. Concassa. Okay. Seven with Lim? No. Your turn. Unfortunately, can't restand the Perona, but if he does KO the Perona, we can Lim. If he has another Reiju, he can Raging Tiger again, which is bad, but we can DMG plus just swing 11, because he'll only have 2 Don. We can just DMG the double Dons and swing 11 with lead, and 6 with Perona. Presumably that survives. We definitely Beam Sword. Immediately. Even if it just rests Otama. You know, after he saw the Raging Tiger and the Reiju and the Red Rock and everything, I thought we were cooked. But we've managed to come back into this a little bit. What's he doing? Beef Burst? Stealth Black. Brings back a blocker. Okay, that's kind of annoying. That's going to be pretty helpful for him. Can't double DMG. We'll see how many Dons he commits to whatever he's doing here. Oh, we can slow Beam Sword this now, actually, because he's played it first. That's a mistake. That's a blunder there, my friend. Should not have played that blocker first. Resolve. What do we have to do? We have to rest one of my cards. And I'll rest this Lim and play this Lim. And grab this 2k, huh? No, I can't take that 2k. We'll grab this 2k. 3 Don open, huh? We don't have a Mihawk. So we can double DMG, rest all the Dons, or we can single DMG. If we go single, we have, what, we can do 7 with Mihawk, 7, like 6, 6, 7, 7. And also, we do have the option of splitting with this if we double single DMG. I think I'm going to start with 5, see what he does with that. 2k. Okay. Let's go 5 again. 2k again. Double D&G, we have 6, 7. That's a funny number. He'd have to have 2k, 2k, 1k. There's no way he's left himself with 2k, 2k, 1k. There's just no way. There's no way you left yourself with 2k, 2k, 1k. Yeah, 3 events. Get out of here, Sanji. How do we win that one? That was, yeah, the fact that he gianted so early, I think, was a bit weird. I don't know why he didn't either block or take that one. I guess he was like, oh, I'll get the Grav Blade in the trash. We've got the Reiju. And that was a good play. It was a good play for sure. And he had the Red Rock on the follow-up on our Shanks, which was really big. Yeah, the early aggression was decent. The first Mihawk was good. We did play one Mihawk early, didn't we? I'm not going insane. He also fucked up at the end there, although it didn't really matter because we had lethal with the double DMG. If he'd left literally 3 Don open and 1 blocker, that's the easiest double DMG of my life. I would have always just done it. But because we beam sworded to rest the Sanji, it was like, oh, maybe there's a better route. But it turns out there wasn't. We baited out a couple of the 2Ks. If he'd have evented immediately, then I don't know. Maybe he could have evented immediately to play around DMG, but we did have the option still of what, like 13-13 from Mihawk, which he kind of needs the big counter. If we had a Mihawk, we didn't, but he didn't know that. I'll take the win. I got a bit tilted by those removal events, but it is what it is. So thank you for watching. Let me know, what do you think of the deck? What do you think of the games? Are you going to be playing LIM? Leave a like if you want to see more LIM content. Maybe we'll have another EB03 LIM video anyway. I do really like this leader. She's really fun. I always liked this leader when she first came out. It's always been it wasn't very good in set 9, to be fair. It was pretty trash in set 9. But since set 10, it's always been decent. Dice matters a lot. Like, going first matters a lot. When you get your dice, but when you get to go first and you see like 1-drop Lim into 5-cost Dofi or Sabo, into a 3-drop, into leader effect, man, you feel so powerful. I really do enjoy this deck, and this Lim is really, really nice to further your aggression. Really, every set, this deck gets like 1 good card. Set 13, we got the Shanks and the Sanji, which was 2 actually. Set 14, we got the Perona. EB03, we're getting the Lim. It's really cool. I really like what they're doing with this leader. Constantly giving or printing cards that can work quite nicely with her. It's pretty cool. Either way, thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.